Hello dear students, you are welcome to my channel Anatomy My Life. In this video, we will see the features of the internal surface of the base of the skull. So this is the internal surface of base of the skull, which is divided into anterior cranial fossa, middle cranial fossa and the posterior cranial fossa. So the dura mater is firmly adherent to the floor of these fossas. These are the floor of the fossa, and in this dura mater is continuous with the pericranium through the foramina and the fissures. So these are the different foramina through which the dura mater passes, and it is continuous with the pericranium, which is the outer present on the outer surface. Now we come to the anterior cranial fossa. So this is the anterior cranial fossa. First you see the boundary of the anterior cranial fossa. Anteriorly, this fossa is bounded by the frontal bone. So this is the frontal bone, and posteriorly it is separated from the middle cranial fossa by the this is the posterior border of the lesser wing of sphenoid, posterior border of the lesser wing of sphenoid. Then here is the anterior clinoid process, and this is the anterior margin of the sulcus chiasmaticus. So this makes the posterior boundary of the anterior cranial fossa. Now the floor of this fossa. This is the floor which is formed by the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. Here is the in the median plane. This is the cribriform plate of ethmoid bone in the floor of the anterior cranial fossa, and posteriorly this part is the anterior part of the body of sphenoid, also called as zugum sphenoidale. This is the anterior part of the body of sphenoid, and on each side this fossa floor of this fossa is formed by the orbital plate of the frontal bone, and this is the lesser wing of the sphenoid. So these structures form the floor of the anterior cranial fossa. Now the anterior most structure here in this anterior cranial fossa is the frontal crest. This is the frontal crest which gives attachment to the falx cerebri. Behind it is the upward projection of bone which is called as crista galli. This gives attachment to the anterior end of the falx cerebri. This falx cerebri which separates the two cerebral hemisphere. Then in between the frontal crest and crista galli, here is a foramen which is called as foramen cecum. It is usually blind, but sometimes it may transmit the emissary vein from the nasal cavity to the superior sagittal sinus. Then on each side there is a cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. This bone has a number of perforations here which gives passage to the rootlets of the olfactory nerve. So this rootlets passes from the olfactory mucosa through these perforations, and here it forms the olfactory bulb. Then at the posterolateral corner of the cribriform plate, here you can see on both the sides there is a posterior ethmoidal canal which transmits the posterior ethmoidal vessels. Posterior ethmoidal nerve does not pass through it, and through this canal, the posterior ethmoidal nerve, it supplies the sphenoidal and ethmoidal air sinus. Then this is the lateral margin of the cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. So at the anterior end, here you can see the anterior ethmoidal canal which transmits the anterior ethmoidal nerve and vessels to the nasal cavity. Then this is the anterior most part of the superior surface of the body of sphenoid, which is called as zugum sphenoidale. and posteriorly it is limited by the anterior margin of the sulcus chiasmaticus. So this is the sulcus chiasmaticus. At this part, the two optic nerve which passes through the optic canal, and here it crosses to form the optic chiasma. Then the orbital plate of the frontal bone on both the sides. This is the orbital plate of frontal bone is present, and it separates the anterior cranial fossa from the orbit. So this is the orbit. In between these two, this is the orbital plate of the frontal bone, and over this surface the frontal lobe of the brain is present. So here you can see the impressions of the sulci and gyri of the frontal lobe of the cerebrum. This is the lesser wing of sphenoid. It is broad medially and it tapers laterally. So the medial end, here it has two roots, medial root and the lateral root. These two roots encloses the optic canal. This is the optic canal. The free border of this lesser wing of sphenoid, it fits into the stem of the lateral sulcus of the brain, and the anterior clinoid process receives the free margin of the tentorium cerebelli. Thank you all for watching my channel.